Well, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How y'all doing? It's Wednesday. It's another Wednesday. It's Wednesday today, Wednesday. How y'all doing? Y'all tell me how you doing. Wednesday, the 13th of May. Not Friday the 13th, Wednesday, the 13th of May. Wednesday. And it's another day for us to talk about some of what is happening. Same things, different days. Same things, different days. And I can tell you, these are not inspiring things. These are not productive things that are happening. These are very disheartening events that are happening. But before we go more into that, let me send out some shout outs quickly. Uh, Good afternoon to our folks who are listening to us from New Jersey. We've got some folks in New York. Well, let me say the USA. Don't let me go into the States because I might have to end up calling Venezuela because I'm hearing that Venezuela might soon be. But that's not our business. Guyana is Guyana. We're concerned about what is happening in Guyana. So let me send out greetings to my friends there in the USA, some of our friends in Canada, because they've already messaged to ask what is happening. We're not seeing you. Ah, my good friend there, Poor People Governor, special shout out to you. We've got to talk. We got to talk a little more. And then we've got our friends in Barbados and Trinidad and all around the Caribbean, those who are watching us today, same things, different days. Thank you for being here with us. And to you, our locals who always make me feel so happy, shout out to you. Happy Wednesday to you. Let me say to you, ensure that you have your umbrella, your raincoat, your long boots, your little stick. Ensure that you have them with you every day because we're into the rainy season. This is what we call May, June, the May, June rainy season that we would have been accustomed to having. And it's getting worse now. So ensure that you have your raincoats and your long boots and so on because it's going to rain and it's going to be flooded because there's no vision from this poor PPP government. So ensure you have those with you. But we want to send out a special happy birthday shout out to a wonderful woman, um, Mistress Ormin Green. Ormin Green, from way out there in Melanie. She just celebrated her 80th birthday. A very strong comrade who has decided that she's going to be PNC until her eyes close. Let me say that. And she reiterated that just a couple of days ago. She said, I will be PNC until I die. So we want to send out happy birthday greetings to you, Miss Green, cousin Armin, as we would call her. And we trust that God is going to continue to bless you and grant you long life. I know you come from a long living group of family members. Your mother is 101 years old. So we understand that you have that capacity and that capability to live long. So happy birthday to you. And we were there, my colleague MP Ganesh Paul, we were there to share with her and her family members. So happy birthday again to you, cousin Armin. And I want to thank your daughters and your sisters and your nieces and your nephews and your grandchildren and great grandchildren and all of them who are always there with you and they would have helped to make your day a special one. Happy birthday again to you. But you know, while we're talking about the happy birthdays, of course, we have to send out condolences to those who have lost loved ones. I'm seeing them going left, right, all over the place. Condolence to all those family members who've lost loved ones. We pray that God is going to comfort you even at this time. But into the grit of things, into the mix, into everything, same things, different days. We tired of it. Very tired of the same things. Look, they got some people who just bobbing and weaving. But we gotta talk about them a little more. Stop bobbing and weaving. If you have to go, go wherever you have to go. Just go. Don't stay in the mix and you want to throw in when you're supposed to throw baking powder. You want to throw some salt or something else you want to throw in the mix. Just go if you have to go. But let's talk seriously about what's happening here. All these flooding here, there, and everywhere. We know that during this period we expect flooding, but yet this corrupt, thieving, incompetent government, they do nothing to help Guyanese people. Absolutely nothing. They jump up and talk about progress here and progress there and progress all over the place. But yet, in this country with the highest growing economy, the fastest growing economy in the world, the majority of our people are still suffering. 58% of our people live in poverty, 32% in abject poverty, and yet we boast about progress and development. I think some people blind, some people deaf, some people just mad. Because I don't understand how you can have progress when 58% of your people living in poverty. Look at what's happening in our schools. Many, many, many schools across this country. During this rainy weather, well, they don't even have to wait for the rainy weather. When it rains, they're flooding. Now with the rainy weather, it's worse. And we're seeing it all across the country. Children in Region 1, the roads are breaking away. They have to walk across creeks, roads that are opened, and so it forms a little river there. They have to walk across that to get to and from school. We are seeing, we had just yesterday and the day before, Providence Primary. We had Ansgrove Secondary. We had Charlestown Secondary. Don't talk about the schools in South Georgetown and some of the schools in North Georgetown. Monday and yesterday, flooded. I know operator is going to bring those pictures up for us. Flooded. What are we doing? When are we going to fix these schools? When are we going to have our children sit comfortable when it rains or when it doesn't rain? When are we going to have that happening? When are we going to have that happening? In Region 3, we had the same thing, flooding all over the place. When is it going to change? When are we going to be having some real development? You know? And we talk about this development. You know why we had those big canals? You know why we had them? To take off water, because we recognized then. The great LFS Burnham recognized then, and he understood that we are under sea level. He understood that. And that is why we had those huge canals. Now the PPP are filling all of these canals under the pretext of development. Under the pretext of development. And when they fill the canals, what do you expect to happen? You don't expect flooding? You don't expect people's homes are going to be flooded and their furniture, their stove, their refrigerator, everything you don't expect they're going to be damaged. And what happens? Crops are being damaged as well. Cattle are destroyed. And what do you expect the government do? They come around with big fancy umbrella and walk around the place like some good fools all over the place. And then nothing else happening. I know the operator is working on getting some of those pictures so that you can see them. Nothing else happening. They walk around and parade themselves as if they're so concerned when they know fully well that these things will happen. When you see Priya jumping around the place, the other night I see the president. He walking. He left bright daytime to walk nighttime to go and check out flood affected areas. I mean, when you're mad, there's nothing else could make you more mad. And there's a saying that says, whom the God wishes to destroy, they first make them mad. Irfan left daytime to go nighttime. Nighttime to say he looking at flooded areas. How much so can you see at night? And you didn't know that this is May, June time and rain gonna have more rain? Huh? All the money y'all thieving all the time, why y'all don't put them into make good use of those monies? Huh? Why y'all ain't making good use of those monies? Look, these are here, look, flooded. These are classrooms we're talking about, schools, flooded. Flooded classrooms. Charity Secondary, because of the rain flooding and leaking roof, they had to go under a shed to put a classroom under a shed. I mean, why in the fastest growing economy, a $1.5 trillion, look, that's school there, you know? They got them under the shed because of one, overcrowded, and classrooms flooded. Ordinary people, children going to these schools. That is why it is being done to them. You think this could have happened at Mays? You think this could have happened at School of the Nations? You think this could have happened at some of the other private schools? No, it wouldn't happen there. It wouldn't happen there. But our ordinary public schools, where ordinary people's children are going to, this is what they have to endure. Guyanese people, I am hoping that you people are recognizing what is happening. Same things, different days. Same things, different days. Today, Tuesday, it's happening. Tomorrow, Wednesday, it's happening. Today, Wednesday, this is happening. And then somebody gonna jump out with some cleaning stuff to bring and come and hand you and say, oh, clean. And then 2 days from now, the same thing happening. What is wrong with us? When are we going to learn? When are we going to recognize that these people are only playing us for fools? When are we going to recognize that? Every time these things happen, schools are disrupted. Every single time. Sonia, I know it's a tough task you got. I know that very well. Operator, you can show us the other pictures as we go along. I know it's a tough task you have at hand, but you accepted it. So you got to fix it. Our children must not have to suffer. If you go to Tugville Secondary or Primary now, you'll see the compound. You'll see that compound. Look, Providence Prime. This is Providence Primary. Look at what's happening there. Flooded. Flooded. You know why? Because the canals get small. The canals turn into drains. The canals turn into drains. Yes, I want you to share the life. Share the life. Canals turn little drains. So when the little drains are filled where you expect the water to lodge, it will settle on the land. They will occupy the space that is available to them, which is the land. So Providence Primary flooded. I mean, look at what is happening with our children. This is what our children have to endure. This is what they have to endure. I mean, I can talk about it. West Rumvelt Primary flooded. West Rumvelt Secondary flooded the compound. Liana Nursery School, Roxanne Burnham Nursery Schools, all them nursery schools flooded. All Boys Town Nursery flooded the compound. Many parents could not afford to send their children to school on Monday because of the rains we had Sunday night leading into Monday morning. And this was all over the country. There's these are not isolated areas. All across this country, Region 6, Region 5, everywhere we went. All these pictures were taken out. Well, let me talk about Ansgrove Secondary. We got Ansgrove Secondary. I know this is out of the hands of the regional education officer. This here has got to do with the Minister of Education and the Minister of Local Government. When y'all gonna rebuild Ansgrove Secondary, that school, every time you go there, that school is a hazard to life and limb. When y'all gonna repair that school, under the bottom of this school, at the bottom of that school, water nonstop. Every day, you don't have to wait for rain to fall. The bottom of the school is filled with water. No wonder they always have mosquito infestation and all kinds of things happening there. When y'all gonna rebuild Ansgrove Secondary, ministers? When isn't that part of your progress? When y'all gonna rebuild that school? The school building, if you run too hard, the building shaking. A big truck pass, the building vibrating. Y'all gonna wait for something serious to happen before you fix Ansgrove Secondary? If you see the furniture that the children got to sit on, and these are the $1 million furniture that were purchased, you know. These are the $1 million furniture that were purchased. If you see the furniture again, that the CSEC children have to sit on to write their exams. If you see the furniture the teachers have to sit on, and then we talk about progress. We talk about progress. This is part of Ansgrove Secondary. We talk about progress. What kind of progress is this? Some of y'all rail back to front when it comes to progress for ordinary people. But when it comes to you and your families thieving the monies, y'all know what that is. When it comes to you and your families building mansions, and some of you claim that you sell chocolates, it's okay. But this is what poor people's children have to live with. They have to go to school with and sit on benches with no back for them to lean on. No rails at the back there, none whatsoever. Desks are shaky, and these were desks and benches that were just bought. Now we have to find out who were the contractors, who were the people contracted who were the persons contracted to build these furniture. Again, is the circle friends, families, favorites, flatterers, and the foreigners. The circle, the same little circle all the time, going around and round. Why can't we not have better furniture for our children in school? And this is not Ansgrove alone, it's across the board. You go to Richard Ishmael Secondary, you see the same thing happening there. You go to St. John's College, the same thing happening there. You go down the line to North Georgetown Primary, North Georgetown Secondary. You go to St. Joseph's High, the same thing. Effie Pollard, the same thing. Tocqueville, South Rumvelt. Well, don't talk about South Rumvelt Primary and South Rumvelt Secondary. Oh, Rangers got a smile for there to be flooded. But when we talk about the furnishing, I mean, come on, we can do better. Y'all could do better. Priya, you were there and you left a whole big calamity. You left a big dirty legacy down there. I gotta call it so because they got stinking dirty party that they're planning as part of the anniversary, 60th anniversary, independence anniversary celebrations. So I have to talk about it. Nasty. That's your legacy, a nasty, dirty legacy. The legacy Priya left there is a legacy. Hairstyles don't matter, they don't distract. Priya, which part you went to recognize that hairstyles don't distract? It probably doesn't for a few, but for the majority, it does. So you now leave, Sonia, in the foolishness. And so we have the students going to school with long braids, the boys going to school with their hair all haywire. And no wonder we're having all the bullying that we're having in schools, all the gangs that we're having because of the stupidness that they implemented. Oh, when you talk about foolishness, see Priya and now Sonia. And look, just the other day, our boys from Tushen Secondary School, two stab up another two. They were in hospital. How do we deal with these issues? Huh? When it's not flooding and broken furniture and building not proper, is the gangs in school, the bullying in school, the stabbing in school. You remember the incident we had at St. Joseph's High where the boys attempted to sodomize a first form boy or a grade first form / grade 7 boy. You remember the incident? Huh? That's the kind of craziness we're having in our schools. And why you think we're having them? Because there's a total breakdown in the system. A total breakdown. If you check history, you would see, and if you want to be honest, some of you would tell us that under the PNC, you had none of this. Under the APNU, you had none of these things happening. As soon as they come back 6 years after, madness in the schools. And that's what we say. Every time the PPP is around, you have the same things happening on different days. And in every single sector, it's happening. Every single sector. No sector is spared. Hey, y'all got to fix it. Fix it right. We don't want the same things, different days. Y'all fix it right. So as we go on, we're going to talk a little more. This is what happens in the schools. I saw a parent sending out this morning to say, Sir Leon Bailey, is what happened with the, What happened with the maths? Sir Leon Bailey, did the students beat the CSEC maths paper 2? Or, okay, operator putting it up there. I wonder, because they talk about this big intervention that they made, they try to imitate Nicolette Henry. Y'all can't be Nicolette. Y'all can't bring about stuff that Nicolette brought about. Y'all can't bring about the progress that was made under the APNU government and under the PNC government when it came to passes at CSEC. And now it was CXC then, and now we have CSEC. Y'all can't match it. No matter what you do, you can't match it. So Sir Leon came out with all this intervention to maths and so on and so on and so on. Mind you, you can't bring about math intervention when you're not involving the real practitioners. You can't bring about math intervention and expect to have the real change when you're not involving completely the practitioners. Not 1 and 2 and 3 persons gonna come and do it and you'll get success. No. If we want success, it has to be about a teamwork. now one and two persons because they're your favorites. No, it doesn't happen so. So, Sir Leon Bailey, you can tell us whether the students did beat up the math, the CSEC math paper two, or whether the paper two beat them up. You can tell us, but we'll see when the results come out. Don't worry. And so far, you have not yet matched the increase in passes that we had under the APNU during the 2015-2020 period. You have not had it. We've had a decline. So come again. They say, wheel and come again, wheel and come again. You gotta ask if you don't know. Ask if you don't know. So we talked so much about, there's so much education. So many things are happening. Virgin Nugent Secondary, big confusion at that school there. Huh? And parents went out there to beat up on the head teacher and two other teachers. All the teachers were afraid to go to school. And we talking about progress. And we talking about we doing this and what are you doing? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing except that you're putting the monies into your pockets. Nothing else you're doing. But that's so much that we're going to talk about for education. We're going to move on now. We talked about the flooding. We talked about education. What happening with these road users? I heard the commissioner of police, as a matter of fact, was saying the other day, traffic police must be allowed to do their work. Where are our traffic police? Why are we having so many accidents every time you open Facebook? There's a report of an accident, somebody dying, persons are injured. What is happening on our roadways? Is it the foul cocks that they cut their necks and sprinkle blood? What's causing all these craziness? Of course, I have to be a little humorous about some of the things I say, but it's a fact where we saw fowls, the necks of fowls being cut off, and people walking around the place by the new Demerara Harbor Bridge, the Barajagio, sorry, Demerara Harbor Bridge, and some of the roads and so on. All kind of craziness, which causes me now to remember when the Minister of Public Works, what's his name, the great bishop, when the great bishop said supernatural forces were creating havoc for the men when they were building Cemetery Road. I wonder what's happening when they're building the roads through the cemetery now, if supernatural forces are affecting them there too. And that's why they're taking so long. But we're having too many accidents on our roads. We cannot continue to have all of these accidents because they're not doing us well. Too many homes are being broken. Too many homes are destroyed. Too many lives are lost. Too many persons are left disabled coming from these accidents, and we don't want to see them. Just this morning, I think we had one somewhere on the west coast of, I think it was on the west coast of Berbice. We had these accidents. We can't afford them. We can't afford these accidents. There are too many. And it's happening because the roads are not properly built. Just the other day, we had Princess Street being built, and we're seeing big holes, huge holes on the roads at Princess Street. Bishop Edgel, what really going on? Why these contractors, when they bid for these roads, they can't do proper work? And what are your inspectors doing? What are you doing about it? Huh? Just the other day, we saw what's happening on the parapet in South Rumville there, Aubrey Barker Street, that y'all just make a big issue about. Huh? What happened to the finishing? Now we got Princess Street, big holes in Princess Street. I hope the operator is going to send them to us, put them up on the street there. What happening with y'all? Huh? What happening with y'all? Why we not having these? Why we not having, look, big hole on Princess Street? I mean, a motorcyclist coming down the road there could bounce into that hole and lose his life or injure himself. A pedal cyclist, the same thing could happen. A driver driving there unsuspecting, and pop, you fall into that hole, and the next thing you know, the car swerve from one side to the other, and you might end up knocking somebody down, or you end up into the path of an oncoming a vehicle coming towards you, or a vehicle, trying to overtake you, and pop, you end up into the path because you did not know that a hole was there. Bishop Edgel, come on. We can't continue to be the country with the fastest growing economy in the world. And these are the kind of poor work we're getting. Poor work. This can't be considered anything else. Poor work. Look, a big, big hole there. I mean, what we doing? What are we doing? The people who live on Princess Street, they were so happy. Now look, it didn't reach a couple months yet, and the whole street didn't even finish yet. And we don't get holes. And that is why, that is why y'all can't beat the late, great LFS Burnham. That's why y'all can't beat him, because he was a visionary man. Y'all can't beat him. Look how many years it took us to do rehabilitative work on the Linden Suicide Highway, and it continued to stand. Look how many years the Quarantine Highway, they're now breaking to do expansion, road expansion, to put more lanes. Look how many years. West Coast Berbice Road, look how many years. And y'all, you must see like, oh, the girl said 5 minutes, man. 3 minutes, man. Because after 3 months, this is the kind of nonsense. Some don't even last 3 months. This is just a month old. And look what we're seeing. We're tired of this nonsense. It cannot continue to be same things, different days. We must have production, productive days, productive things are happening, and then we can talk about progress. This is not progress. This is not progress. Operator, could you show where those children are walking through water there? And then let's find out if that is progress. Let's find out if that is progress. Viewers, you tell me if that is progress. I guess you can pull it up a little more so maybe they can see it properly. I guess that is progress, and maybe you need to show the others. Tell me if that is progress. That's what our children got to walk through. That is what our children got to walk through. They give the contract to who? Sheriff, I think it's 175 million to build that school there. They can't finish it up to now, and time going all the time. But you notice these people don't get blackmailed. They don't get blackmailed. They continue to do foolishness all the time. It's like Chinese critic. How much money he collect? 800 and something million, almost $1 billion. And today, not even one fork he can even lift. If he lift any at all. Or maybe lift one fork. This is what our children have to go through. Sonia, I hope you saw this. And you are going to take note of, not only take note, but have it corrected. What happened, you see, and that is why David Granger he was such a visionary man when David Granger had boats. So in times like these, our children won't have to paddle through water. They would have had the community boats. They would have had the community boats to ferry them across so they can get to school and get home from school. But y'all ain't got no vision. All y'all know about is to thieve the money. That's all y'all know about. That's all y'all know about. But then we got some bigger stories happening outside of that. I notice every year, starting recently on Labor Day, the president's competing with the trade union movement. Every time Labor Day, he competing with the trade union movement. So he hosting brunch. And what has come out of the brunch? Absolutely nothing. They go, they drink plenty coconut water. He parades himself around, take out a whole lot of pictures with the teachers, the nurses, the this, the that. Well, this year it was most disgraceful. This year, if you see nurses, student nurses, who they compelled to go to this function, a whole lot of them had to be standing on the road, taking hot sun, standing up on the road, they're waiting for somebody to let them into to State House. You had a whole lot of teachers that they ferry from Region 3, Region 2, Region 5, Region 6. If you see how they're bringing them down with big buses to come and eat some baked chicken and must see they probably had curry catfish and wherever, they bring them down. Of course, you want to know if I got mine? Of course I got an invitation, but let me tell you what, I'm a trade unionist / politician. And Labor Day was a day that was fought for by trade union stalwarts, including Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow. And so that is the day when we recognize workers. You imagine the presidents and his cabal doing workers the gods enough all 5 months. And then on Labor Day, you're calling them to eat with you and to smile up with you. Some of these people like Barajag, they say we got some real stupid people. Because if for 4 months plus, they ain't doing nothing for you, then one day they so love you that they inviting you to come and dine, drink coconut water, like you don't get coconut. Well, I guess, you're probably right, because operator show us the prices for stuff in the market, show us the cost for stuff in the market. So I figure lots of people can't buy coconut water because a little bottle of coconut, a little bottle is $500. If you do the second size, it's $1,000 and $2,000. Yeah, these are the prices for commodities in the market. Things that we even grow here. Look at the costs for them. Show us the others, operator. Show us the others. Look, okra, 360 a pound, and okra we growing right here. Right here we growing okras. Now, if you have a family of 6, look, these are limes that we produce right here. Limes that we produce right here. Look how it's going. Well, if we had to import them, look. These are things that we grow right here. Carilla, cucumber, and so on. $100 for one cucumber. Right here we grow all of these things. And look, this is what ordinary people have to contend with. This is what the ordinary man whose salary is $84,000, $120,000, $140,000, $165,000. This is what they have to contend with when they face the marketplace. This is what they have to contend with. And these fools that we got who sitting in government talking about progress and development. Progress and development. This is progress and development, I guess, for you. Because y'all don't face the market. So this is progress and development for you. I mean, where are we going? Same things, different days. Same things, different days. Every day you go to the market, the price for something else increases. Every day you go to the market, you go to buy flour, you go to buy chicken, you go to buy beef, you go to buy fish, you go to buy Carilla. It's a different price every 2 days you turn up in the market. Ordinary people ain't got checkbooks that they could write checks and hand it over. Ordinary people can't call the supermarket and say, and send their list, and then they send a driver to pick it up. Ordinary people can't do that. And so they have to face this. This is the hardship that ordinary people have to live with. So when they face the hardship in the market, and then when they get home, their house flooded. Who cleaning it for them? Where they're getting more monies now to buy cleaning stuff again to clean their house. And then these people smile about it and think it's a big joke. And they walk around like fools with big cloaks. Big cloaks, and you got people sheltering you. Operator, I want you to show the Guyanese people and all those who are watching us. Let them see the president's making himself a fool in the dark. I wish he would fall down. Seriously, I wish he'd fall down. Because I don't know why you would want to go nighttime to say you inspecting things at nighttime. How you inspecting what at nighttime? Maybe you're ashamed to go daytime. Because when you go on the international scene, you make up yourself and you talk about this, that, the other that's happening in Guyana. So you're ashamed for go daytime. You don't go in daytime, you go in nighttime for see the flood affected areas. You sure have to go out anywhere because Main Street, the flood. Right, wrong, you flood. Maybe you went over in Lenora, so you're now going on the sites. That's why you have to come nighttime. But Mr. President, you have to change your mode of operation. It's not working. Guyanese people are not benefiting from it. So change it. This is the May-June period. Let's see the men out there doing stuff so that people can be relieved. Let's see the pumps working. And you can't tell me about Georgetown because y'all caused Georgetown to be how it is. So don't talk about the main city council. Y'all got it just the way it is. Because you don't encourage those big businessmen who are your friends to pay their rates and taxes. Y'all don't encourage them to do that. Y'all don't put the systems in place so that City Hall could get finances. So don't even open your mouths to talk about Georgetown. And I know they got some clowns who will come under the comment section to talk foolishness. Hey! Get all your white mouth selves from here. Don't come on this page and talk foolishness, under my post to talk foolishness. Tell your friends. Provide the finances and we'll have a better city. Tell your friends to pay their rates and taxes. Tell your friends to stop paying the junkies to go and empty their garbage next door and at a vacant spot. Tell your friends, stop filling up our canals. You tell them that, and we'll have a better city. We'll have a clean city. Between 2015 and 2020, our city was the garden city. It was returned to the garden city. And from the time y'all return, the nasty, dirty city does where y'all like stink and dirty. Just like some of you, your faces. Stink and dirty. And some of your minds. So y'all don't come around to talk about that. Fix it right and things will happen. And you're so dumb. If you fix the city, then people will see. If you make the finances available, people will see. If you encourage your friends and your families to pay up their rates and taxes, you will get the praise when the city start looking clean, not the mayor and city council that is controlled by the APNU, as you would always say. You will look good. If you pay the nurses and the teachers and the policemen and so on, you will look good. But y'all mind bad, stink, it's dirty. So y'all don't come around. That is why you will have to continue to bribe people so that you can look good. You will have to continue to bribe people so that they can keep the voters list the way it is. So you can continue to manipulate and claim that you win elections because you got to bribe people. You don't want people to vote off of their conscience, like my friend Sharon Das had said the other day that he had a conscience vote. You don't want the people to vote consciously. You're bribing them. Every time before elections, you come out and you bribe them and you soap them. Barajagdio again, same things, different days. Barajagdio said, people, guys, we got some real stupid people. You weren't wrong, but you're right. But then we got to move on. We got to move on. We got to move on. Labor Day, coconut water, nurses stand outside. But hey, coming down from Labor Day, operator, I hope y'all got these pictures so that people could see. Coming down from Labor Day on the 5th of May, Indian Arrival Day. I see plenty police. Plenty police swoop down on the home of the opposition leader, the lazy opposition leader, Isesa. The opposition leader who was friends with the PDP, y'all remember? Operator, I'll just show the people these pictures. The opposition leader now who was friends with the PPP, he and Souza was friends. He and Vikram Bharat was friends. He and Priya was friends. He and Nigel Dharamlal was friends. He and Irfan was friends. First Lady was friend. Jagdio, all of them, he and all of them, they were friends. Well, they sent the police by e-house. At first, they collected from them all the firearms from the business place, the security service, 70-something firearm. They collected all of them. They asked them for them. You know, they revoked the license, so they had to hand them over. But on Indian Arrival Day, the police swooped down on the home and they asked that they surrender their personal firearm. Operator, will you put up this thing, let the people see? Let them people see the firearms that they had today. They had to surrender these firearms. Well, I tell you, ordinary man and woman making all kind of applications for firearm and they're being denied. And this one family, 70-something plus another 7 or how much, 80-something firearms, them alone get. Well, you know what I found disappointing, and I found it very disappointing. Maybe some people getting smart now. I found it very disappointed that I didn't see all them supporters who had flocked there when GRA rushed down there to seize the vehicles. I found it strange that I didn't see these supporters turn up there to make representation. Is what happened? What happened? You're losing your touch or something? What happened? I didn't see your supporters out there coming out, you know. I mean, it is not something that I am happy about. But if the people say you gotta surrender the firearm, you gotta surrender it. But my thing, what I'm appalled at is that I didn't see your supporters coming out there. So, Mr. Opposition Leader, you gotta do something about it. You gotta do something about it. What happened with your supporters? Your supporters should have been there standing with you. They should have been there, yes, thanks to News Source. Look, the firearms that they had to surrender there, the firearms and the ammunition, they had to surrender them. But operator, why you put up with the friends and so on, the friends, all the friends that they used to have, they used to do walkabout with all these people, Airfront and Azardine, they tick, 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 they get on the Muslim garb, you know. All of them, they tick, tick, tick all over the place. What happened? What happened to the friendship? He and Susan hug up. Is what happened to y'all? What happened? What happened? What happened? Show them Susan. Susan was one of his good friends. He says Susan, he used to give Susan money for bike gas. When she used to drive some old car. Look here, Susan. Show them he and Airfront. I hope we got the picture with he and the first lady too. He and all of them used to think he and Javed, Mustafa, all of them, they were friends. Well, they fall out now. And since they fall out now, it's from one session to the next. Look, yes, he and Airfront. Mm-hmm. They were all friends. All of them were friends. I know we're going to have Comrade Wayne Caesar joining us in a few. But all of these people were friends. They were all friends. All of them were friends. Well, them business, that's rich people's story. I don't care. I don't business what they do with you. That's rich people's story. Let them fight the battle by themselves. Not me. Because if they find me with a gun, they would have to lock me up. They would have do me this, they would have do me that. They had a time when the same boy was a kingpin. Yes, when he was with the PPP. He was a kingpin. He and Charles Ramsden, all of them were friends. Charles, Datterdin, Anil, Prime Minister, Jagview, Airfront, Susan, Sonia, Priya, all of them, Frank Anthony, all of them were friends. And they probably still friends so that they could pick up a phone and call one and say, I don't bother with the Mr. Opposition Leader. You should have called out your people, them, call out your supporters, them, let they come and stand up with you. Now you alone standing up there, you should have called them out by. They should have, well, you didn't even have need to call them out. They should have come and give you a little support. Oh my God, watch it you. Watch it you. You have no friends. The friends and the fool and his friends are soon parted. Maybe you don't have money to give them now, so they ain't coming out. Maybe they ain't coming out because you don't have money to call them. But since I'm on the opposition leader, I have to say it. I have to say it, and I don't care what his critics out there say. They could cost more, but the fact is the fact, and truth doesn't lie. Mr. Opposition Leader, I am still waiting. You are one of the most lazy opposition leaders that this country has ever seen. I am still waiting to see you walk to GCOM to find out from Claudette and to demand from Claudette when we gonna have a clean voters list. I ain't see you do it yet. Mr. Opposition Leader, I'm still waiting for you to make the demand for biometrics. Maybe that's important to you. Mr. Opposition Leader, I'm still waiting to hear what you will demand when it comes to the suffering of poor people. I just show you the prices of things in the market. 5 or 7 seedless limes for how much money is just now. We see it. We saw it just now. We saw it just now. Lemon, 2 for 500. Two lemon for $500, $300 for one. Lemon. Onion, $3.60 a pound. Cucumber, $100 for it. 7 seedless limes, $500. Mr. Opposition Leader, awaiting $3.60 a pound for okra. Awaiting pepper. $500 per pound for hot pepper. Mr. Opposition Leader, I'm still waiting to hear you talk about the relief that you're demanding for poor people. I'm waiting to hear it. I ain't hearing it. Mr. Opposition Leader, ordinary people's children are still suffering. Police beating them up. This happening to them. Mr. Opposition Leader, where your voice there? Mr. Opposition Leader, we waiting. I ain't seen no picture with you and the diplomats yet. What the American ambassador, she want to meet with you. The Canadian ambassador doesn't want to meet with you. The EU doesn't want to meet with you. The Indian High Commissioner doesn't want to meet with you. What happened? You need to go out and meet these people and spread our story. Mr. Opposition Leader, don't think you're down there for your good looks. We want good looks. Good looks don't put food on your table. Come, you got to do something. You the talk, then you and all your people that talk about Aubrey Norton and what Aubrey Norton doing? Why this? Why that? Oh, Aubrey Norton getting paid from the PPP. You ain't getting paid from the PPP. You end up on their payroll and still you ain't doing nothing. So what you doing? Wasting time. You're wasting time. Huh? Aubrey Norton, you always shouting out, oh, he getting paid, Jack. You're paying for shut him out. Who paying you now? Who pay you, Mr. Opposition Leader? Tell us. Maybe the salary that you're collecting from Parliament that got you hush, 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 hush. You better go there. As leader of the opposition, it's not easy work. It's not walk around the place. You, the most I could see you is at every birthday celebration. 80th birthday, 50th birthday, 100th birthday, this birthday. Does by you just be present. We want to see you there alone. Come out on the streets. Bring the people on the streets. We got lots of poor people, children. Look, just the other day I saw Bartica, a young man in Bartica was being shot with a taser gun by a policeman while he was in a speedboat. Mr. Opposition Leader, where your voice there? Where is it? We want to hear you talk now. We want to see you mount a protest. You should have gone there with your supporters in Bartica and mount a protest in front of the station in support of that young man. Look, the children who going to school there, they're crossing water. We just show it. Were you there? Where are you, Mr. Opposition Leader? Were you there? You think we gonna shout for you? You got shout. You're the opposition leader. You got shout. Huh? What I know is what happened to you right now. You're fighting for your own survival. So you can't shout too much for anybody else. Because you gotta look after you. You gotta look after you. And worse yet now, how young are your firearms? And special branch always following you. You gotta be. I guess you're probably you're locked inside now, but you're gonna come out and you're gonna get it right because you want to be opposition leader. You're gonna get it right. You're gonna sit down with where all the MPs that you got with you, 16 you have, bring them out. Bring the 16 out there. They come out and walk with you. Spread them all over. Let them come and walk with you, Mr. Opposition Leader. This is not nice ride. This is not nice time. This is hard work. Hard work, and you can get it right. I know the people recognize it now. The people understand now that you were just flam and glam. And they're recognizing now that all that glitters is not gold. That's why they may come out the other day and support you, because they recognize that you're selfish. You're selfish. We ain't had parliament. How many days now we ain't had parliament, Mr. Opposition Leader? Where is your letter to the speaker? Where is your letter to the press? Or your letters to the press? Where the opposition leader? Come. Come, opposition leader. Come. Come, opposition leader. Come forward. Come to the front of the class, as they would say. I'll let it talking. You see, people like to talk when you're not in the seat and you're not wearing the shoes. You don't know where it hurts. But you're wearing the shoes now. Come to the front of the class. Come by, come. I got pencil. I got book. I got pen. I got protractor. I got compass. Come. You're going to do technical drawing. Come. You're going to draw angles 60 degrees, 90 degrees, 45 degrees. You're going to talk about obtuse and right angle and acute angles. And straight angles. You're going to talk about them. Come to the front of the class. You're going to write compositions. Come. When you want big work, you got to prepare to do what it requires. Come to the front of the class. You're going to do spelling. You're going to do dictation. You're going to answer comprehension questions, Mr. Opposition Leader. Come. You're going to tell us about sedimentary rocks. Come, by, come. Big man work you want. Come. You, your GS, you, everybody. And you come to the front of the class. Step up. The main opposition, step up and do what is required of you. I will talk about you every time. Every time I will talk about you, and let me say, according to your GS, you got money, spend the money and make people's lives comfortable. Like I told you the other day, the folks at Friendship, they're still looking for lodging. You got plenty land, give them a plot. Give them a plot of land. The people from Caneview, Mocha, some of them still suffering because they ain't got a house yet, they ain't got a piece of land yet. Come to the front of the class, give them a plot of land so they could put down a little house and return their lives to normal. Come by, Aubrey Norton got money. Terence Campbell got money. Psycho Andrews ain't got money. Coretta McDonald, she was yet. Dexter Todd ain't got money. You come to the front of the class with your money. All you playing, all you like to talk, and all you like to do this, and all you like to do that. Same things again, different days. Talk a bundle of foolishness. Now you can't step up to the plate, but we gonna wait for you. So opposition leader, I'm gonna rest here for now, but I'm gonna come back to you a little later. Well, I tell you what, same things, different days. Big story in the police force. I got my boyfriend Faisal Karimbashk. That's the bad man right now. That's the man who could take a phone from a driver and instruct police officers what to do. That's me, boy. I like when they move like the top of the line. Thumbs up. You're driving without driver's license, you get stopped. And you make a phone call. Oh no, I got Faisal's store in my phone. Y'all must stop me on the road, I call Faisal. But again, same things, different day. Why are we having this? Why do we have a police force with different sections when people can override what is happening? Again, it's the corrupt PPP that causes this. The corrupt PPP that causes all of these things to happen. The very corrupt people are the ones who cause these things to happen. So anybody in the police force, as long as you're a senior officer, you can call. And let me remind y'all about this same Karimbash, Faisal Karimbash. This was the same guy who, when Paul Slow, Assistant Commissioner of Police, retired, when he was chairman of the Police Service Commission, he had there that this guy should not be promoted. And what did you think the presidents did? The presidents then decommissioned that commission. And then overnight, my boyfriend, I call him my boyfriend because I can pick up my phone and call him and he can say, put the phone, give the rank the phone. Give the rank the phone, let me talk to them. This is the man who they said he must not be promoted because of the amount of allegations that were against him. Pim from the police force, not a word. Everybody silent, all of them silent. My friend Watts, A division, B division, C division, E division commanders, all of them silent. What do you want name? Blanham, all of them silent, not a word when that recording was made public. You know, with the ranks, when the ranks stopped that young lady, they said she's a rank that works with Soputo, I think. She got tint, she got this, no driver's license, kind of thing. One phone call, leave the young lady alone. Well, when I met me phone colleague and says she's the president of the Guyana Teachers Union, past president of the Guyana Trades Union Congress. She was second vice president of the Caribbean Union of Teachers, and now she's a member of parliament. I'll let you go along. I go make me phone call and say, hi, Fazil, how you do? Look, these guys on the road, they stop me. Give the phone to them. I go pass the phone to y'all. But then again, look, story what happened. The commissioner of police came out, and rather than the commissioner of police reprimanding a senior officer, the commissioner of police came out and he said, Alia must stop stopping people on the road for stupidness. Stop stopping them and asking them about driver's license and documents and all kind of thing. Don't ask them about that. Stop asking them about that. Y'all must do y'all work. Traffic ranks must do traffic ranks work. General duties, policemen must do general duties work. The shame. The shame, so they can't say nothing. And that's what they come out and say. So you see, all your general duty policemen, don't feel like they were riding them bikes all over the place, gonna stop me, you know. All you stop me, all you gonna know. Stop me and you will know. You'll see the reaction that you will get. Don't stop me. Now, then the commissioner of police jump out and said, oh, he has asked the, what they call it, OPR? OPR, I think he said he has asked them to investigate the man, Karim Bash. And Karim Bash jump out and say, investigate who? Investigate who? You can't ask nobody to investigate me. The commissioner of police has no authority to do that. He could he could ask for it. What investigation? There's no investigation that he can ask to be launched against me. What investigation? So the deputy commissioner disputes top cop's claim of the OPR probing his intervention in the traffic stop incident. That's why I like Faisal. That's why I like Faisal. Faisal say, hey, Hickins, hey, who tell you, but you could say, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? So commissioner police saying one thing, deputy commissioner saying something else. Then who's the boss? Got to be the deputy commissioner. Deputy commissioner probably saying, Hickins, relax yourself. You done past retirement age and you come back here. Relax yourself. I got plenty age on my side. So you can't talk stupidness. Don't go there and tell people stupidness, but you initiate what probe? You have no authority. You can't initiate no probe to investigate me. So relax yourself. Relax yourself. So police force got saga. Azruddin Mohammed got saga. Priya and Sonia got saga. One Edgil, the great bishop got saga. Is everybody a saga? All over here, saga, walla. Look, this country nice. This got to be the country with the fastest growing economy. Because the sheer mad people we got in this country. And this is saying that the leadership of this country lacks vision. Because if you were visionary, there were certain things you would do. But you can't do a couple of things because these are the people who got secrets for you. So you can't do them anything. That is why they will continue to embarrass you. They will continue to embarrass you. And then again, we come down to the police force and so on again. You remember the Henry boys who died? Who were killed? You remember those boys who were killed? The chops and so on? Now we're hearing from one of the main witnesses that those boys were killed because of some dispute over marijuana farm. The main witness, what's his name? I can't even remember what the boy name. Akash, he appeared in court and he said that the boys were killed over marijuana farm. I don't know where, what, but there were rumors. There were rumors that the boys saw lots of things happening there in the back dam. They saw things happening there in the back dam and they saw people and so on. And they had a whole sort of issue then about some marijuana. Well, maybe the truth can come out now. You know, truth doesn't lie, you know. Truth doesn't lie. So maybe it's going to come out now. Maybe the truth is going to come out now. Maybe now it's going to come out. Look, the man there. The man there right down there, the man said they were killed. When we looked at those X's across their foreheads, the chops across their forehead, chop on the cheek, chop by the neck, chop by the hand, chop so. When and you know, when they talk about, oh, it was they said they went to steal coconuts. But oh man, even if the boys went to steal coconuts, you don't kill them like that. And they weren't killed where they were found. They were killed elsewhere and brought and dumped there, like we know they would normally do. You remember when they dumped Monica Reese on Main Street? She wasn't killed there. She was dumped there. You remember all them bodies we used to see being dumped here and dumped there and dumped all over? Yes. 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 So a lot of saga. Plenty saga. And I'm just seeing here coming out of the same saga with Faisal and Clifton. It said Disrespect is a thing that grows. It just grows. Those allegations by the females should have been properly investigated, and the force would not have had to deal with this today. You remember, and you got to always call Paul Slow name. Paul Slow spoke about all of these things, all of those allegations that were made against this very man, and the same Guyana Police Force, Clifton Hickins, and all of them zip up their mouths. If you all had acted then, you won't have to face the disrespect that you're facing now from Faisal. You wouldn't have to face it. It good. It good. It damn good. Let me say that. Eh? When you're supposed to act and you fail to act, these things happen to you. These things happen to you when you're supposed to act and you don't act. These things happen to you. These things happen to you when you're supposed to act and you don't act. Now we're coming to our 60th anniversary. Shameful police force. Shameful police force. Huh? And it didn't only stem from the police force. You notice who we got as the Minister of Home Affairs? I like to mention her. I have to mention her. Don't call me. Don't call me. But her own son, driving a tinted vehicle, heavily tinted vehicle, government vehicle, crash it. And not a word. Not a word. So how is she going to be able to tell Faisal Karim Bash anything? How is she going to tell you anything? How is she going to tell him anything? I notice that our guest is here. We're going to bring him on. How is she going to tell Faisal anything when she can't control her own son? Not one time, he crashed twice. One crash, it is alleged that he crashed into a minibus and an occupant died. To date, not a charge. To date, not a nothing. Second crash, and he said, Mommy told me not to go out and I disobeyed Mommy, and look what I ended up in. Yes. Yes. This is what we do all the time. This is what we have to deal with all the time. This is what we have to deal with all the time when we do all kinds of foolishness. So here again, we have the war of wars. War break, long ago when you used to play war break. You hide behind a post, war break. And so you're shooting your friend, war break between Clifton and Faisal. They can deal with each other. I tried that as friend's story because Clifton he's a very friendly guy, Remember, he was the wedding planner for Calvin Brutus. He's a very friendly guy. Maybe he ain't too friendly up with Karim. So Faisal and kind of like too much to think because they're all deputy commissioners, he and Brutus and so on. But is whatever happened to Brutus? I hear in the Brutus story bubbling up. Then I hear same Suku again. Suku said the information that they had, they couldn't there was no photocopying machine. The photocopying machine breakdown. At that same time, Clifton Hickins, if you were worth your salt, you should have sent him on administrative leave right away for embarrassing the police force. You gonna tell me all them departments, CID, special branch, breakdown, well, the death Eve Larry, immigration, none, wherever other section they get, I may not even know them. You can tell me them 4 sections. Police training school, nowhere else. They had a photocopying machine that y'all could have gone to photocopy the information, all the evidence that y'all say y'all get. Huh? Y'all couldn't go anywhere else to photocopy it. But I back in Brutus, I back in Brutus. I want the information go. I want the case get thrown over to the High Court. I want it go over to the High Court. And then we can see where barley does grow, like old people to say. You're going to see where barley does grow. Let the case go over to the High Court. We can know if it's Karim. We can know if it's Faisal, which is one of the same person. We can know if it's Hickins. We can know who was the real planner, who was the real instigator, who was the chief of the corruption. We can know. Let go so. I wanted go so like Brutus. I wanted go right over so. But I know me by Brutus. Say moving. He ain't moving from his story. Y'all, you can't trap he been right there with you. And you can't trap he. And I just love the way, sometimes you don't like the things that people do, but you love the way they operate. So I just love the way my friend Brutus is operating. Calm and cool because me story straight. Me story straight. So I just get calm and cool. But I see a thing the other day. The presidents every time something happen. And that's why I call this program Same Things, Different Days. I don't know. I'm all excited to see Wayne. I don't know where he is at this time. Wayne, I hope it's not flooding that has affected you. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Well, good afternoon to you. I've been missing you all this time. Same things, different days. I just talking here about what's happening in the Guyana police force. And I'm saying Karim, big war of words, they're trading words with each other. Karim and Hickins, they're trading words with each other. Hickins said he has initiated and maybe instructed the OPR to launch an investigation into the claim of Faisal calling the traffic rank when they stopped a rank who had no license. She had tint and all kind of thing, and he told them to leave her alone, let her go, in those words. Hickins came out and Hickins said, Hickins views out the police rather than reprimanding a senior officer. He views out the police and tell them, y'all must do policeman work. Everybody must do what they're supposed to do. Traffic rank must do traffic rank work. General duty police must do general duty police work. So Faisal came out today to say Clifton Hickins can't initiate any investigation against me. He doesn't have any authority to do that. He can't do that. This is the deputy commissioner saying that about the commissioner. But I like it. I like it because when the allegations of sexual harassment and rape and so on were made against him, the same Clifton Hickins and all of them zip them out of, not one thing. So I like it. And as a friend said, disrespect is something that is grow. And when you allow it to grow, it becomes a monster. So they can't deal. And that's why I like Fazil. That's why I like Fazil. And I like my boy Brutus too. Because me boy Brutus, they calm. Brutus say, y'all charge me 202 charges. I don't mind, but we gonna carry it to the high court and I can prove my innocence. I can prove all those who were involved. So that's where we are right now. Same things, different days.
Thank you so much, MP. It's great to be back here with you. Same things, different days, indeed. It's always a pleasure being here. It's good to see the viewers. A pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you, and thank you for joining the broadcast this afternoon. Look, MP, as you said, same things, different days. All right, the saga continues. Look, I took a look at the video with Fazil Karimbash, when he called into those ranks with that young lady. And it is funny, that these young, because apparently from what I'm getting with the historical context, she would have trained with Karimbash, and you would have said it early on. I would have heard it before that Karimbash has a history with young women and these allegations of rape and whatnot, right? So I wasn't surprised that the young lady had his number in her phone as Fazil. You're talking about
I got it in my phone too. I screenshot it. I got it in my phone too.
As Fazil, right? We're talking about a senior officer here, right?
Yeah,
And
right?
his name should have been something, Mr. Karimbash or something of that nature. But for it to just be Fazil, a picture can be painted there. But
connection, we close,
yeah,
we tight.
yes, but whether you are a police officer, you're a rank, you're a part of Kanu, or whatever you are, it is your responsibility to make sure that you have all your paperwork with you, your license, among other things. You cannot be superior to the basic citizen in Guyana. We all have to adhere and abide to the same rules,
Yep.
right? She didn't have any paper to present. She was rude to the ranks, okay, amongst other things. So, Karim Bash calling in and saying, let her go. Yes, he is a senior officer. Yes, he does
Yep.
have superiority. But in this case, he should have allowed those ranks to continue and do their job and deal with it on the back end. But to come and to scream out on the rank, and it's a great thing that the body cam was on also. You see how important body cams are, and they
Yep.
play such an important role here in the United States of America because they are able to capture law enforcement in doing a lot of skullduggery. And in this case here, it captured Fazil Karimbash giving an order for the ranks to stand down. That there wasn't good. And then that video was there out for the public eye. And I don't believe that that situation was dealt with the way appropriately. Let me just put it that way. And with Hicken now trying to combat Karimbash, it doesn't make sense because, like you said, when you have a monster growing and you allow that monster to really grow and evolve, and this is a mistake that the Guyanese people would have made also with this sitting PPP government and Barra Jagdeo, that was a monster. And the Guyanese people allow it to grow, allow it to mutate, and look what they're dealing with now.
Uh-huh.
Right? So all of these things, they all tie in to each other. Back over to you, MP.
Well, it there's a saying that says birds of a feather flock together.
Indeed.
Birds of a feather flock together. And so that's why we're seeing what we're seeing here. The same things on different days. Faisal, Faisal instructs, commissioner said this, Faisal says something else. Onit said one thing, don't call me. Onit's son do something else. Priya said hairstyles is not a distraction. The teacher is saying hairstyles is a distraction. We can't have um, higher grades in passes in the math and English at CSEC, not even at the grade 6 exams. And so this is all about what we do here for our friends and family. So some don't have to work hard and they achieve high grades. Some work hard and they don't get high grades. The same things with the teachers. The selected chief education officer, and you know who I'm talking about, the one Saddam Hussein, who
Oh,
feels that he is doing me something. Let me say to Saddam Hussein, you are not the air that I breathe, and so you don't have to talk to me. I got lots of other people who talk to me, so you don't have to talk to me. You're so damn childish. That boy Saddam Hussein, very childish, that he will not engage the president of the Ghana Teachers Union. You know, as if to say the president got to come begging me. Not me, Saddam. Relax yourself. Relax yourself. You know, this is the man who got an issue with everybody. Once you're not a PPP, he got an issue with you. But when Mark Light was president, his brother Mark and brother Mark for him because he know what they coming down along the line was brother Mark and brother Mark. These fools, I will forever call him out. And Saddam, don't worry. Don't worry, you will reach the place that you're supposed to reach. You will reach there. Let me remind you, all the haughtiness of some of you, they got a place that all of you just go. And where the scar says zip, that's the morgue. All of you just end up there. All of us will end up there one of these days, and you won't have a choice to say, I want to lie down I want you to place me in a refrigerator with a PPP, or I don't want to be with an AP and you're a PNC or a member of parliament or wherever. That's one place where you don't got a choice. So go down brave. Go down brave, Saddam. And he came out there and decided that experience doesn't really matter. So teachers were accustomed to having 2 points for every year of trade service. As long as you're out of the teachers training college, you get 2 points for every year. Saddam decided that you're going to get 1 point for every 5 years, simply because they're making lead ways, opening ways for their friends and their families and their flatterers and their favorites to flow into senior position in the teaching sector. So it's all about your qualification now. It's not about experience. And that's why we got all the problems in the society. That's why, Saddam, you're failing. Because look at the amount of fights we're having in the schools and you can't do anything about it. You're failing. You're the worst chief education officer that Guyana's ever had. Everywhere you're failing. You're failing with the teachers who coming out to training college. You're failing there. You're failing when they're in the school, when the teachers are in the school system, because when they're in the school system and they're prepared to work, they don't have the necessary provisions for them in the school. You're failing. You're failing with teacher security because teacher get robbed at Tugville Secondary, not the first time. Teachers were robbed at St. Pius. Teachers were robbed at Liana Nursery School. Teachers were robbed at Roxanne Barnum Nursery School. So you failed as chief education officer. You only got big talks. And these are the people who shelter under religion. Shelter under religion. You damn failure.
Well,
When?
yeah, well, MP, let's go back a bit here. All right. The chief education officer. Let's go back a bit here. When that selection was made, okay, there were many professionals who were overlooked.
Mm-hmm,
And this Saddam Hussein
mm-hmm,
was selected because he aligns with the PPP and their
mm-hmm.
rhetoric. Okay. Now, if we go back to the selection process, we can start there and we can start making the opinion that that was not in the best interest of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Rather, it was in the best interest of the PPPC.
Mm-hmm,
All right.
mm-hmm,
So there we
mm-hmm.
made one bullet point right there. I must say this with all due respect that Saddam Hussein must, it is mandatory that he engage the president of the Ghana Teachers Union. It is mandatory. It
Well,
is within the frame, it is within the framework that
the
he
master,
do
you're
so.
doing it.
No
You're doing
matter,
it.
no
Mm-hmm.
matter who it is that sits in that seat, one should respect that position and respect that
Childish.
seat. Let me
Childish.
say something to you, Saddam Hussein. Do not be intimidated by the Honorable Coretta McDonald because she is a strong, black, and educated woman. Do not
Mm-hmm.
be intimidated. Please come and engage for the best interests of the teachers, the students, and Guyanese from a holistic perspective.
You're
Come
right.
to the table, come and engage. And I must say this, all right? There is a season for everything. You
Everything.
had your season for brother Mark Light, who was indeed a sheep in wolf clothing.
A
Okay?
soup
You had
drinker.
your time for that. That is over. We have the real deal now in place in the Honorable Coretta McDonald. So now let's get to work. Let's make things right for our teachers. Okay? I know the PPP and even you, Saddam Hussein, based on the criteria that you would have put forth for the teachers, you're not too interested in education. All right? You shouldn't even be
Mm-hmm.
sitting there in the first
Exactly.
place. All right? Should not have been sitting there. But nevertheless, MP, continue to send out those letters. They must engage you. It is mandatory. Look, government has got to start behaving correct in this country. All right? This country, the PPP is trying to engage and trying to pull everybody under one umbrella to make a one-party state. All right? Guyanese are not agreeing to that. They are using the resources and money to lure people in. All
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We are on to what this PPPC regime is trying to do. All right? We are a bit too educated for them to get by with what they're trying to do. All right? Saddam Hussein must do the right things. And MP, you're so right. I saw that stabbing incident at that school with those students.
Tuition
And that is
secondary.
concerning. You have the
Mm-hmm.
students at GTI who is not going to class. You understand me? They're going out there by Big Market, by the pizza spot. The girls are vaping. The boys are smoking. You know, look what has happened to our school system. Totally eroded. Why? Because you have a government that
Mm-hmm.
sits in place that does not, first of all, put people first, and then again, put education out front. All right? You have a government that is going and engage internationally, and our people in
And
Guyana are not
locally.
ready to compete internationally. How are you engaging internationally? What are we going to do? Keep importing workers all the time while we have
Mhm,
Guyanese sitting there, want to be educated,
mhm.
want to
Yep.
do the right thing, but they just don't have an engaging government? Over to you, MP.
And you know, I don't know if Saddam ain't got no shame. Just recently, St. Lucia's PS, their chief education officer, and other senior education officers, a whole host of them, they came to Guyana to interact with our folks here. Saddam and the minister and a whole set of them. And you know, guess who? I bet you can't guess who they brought along on that delegation with them.
Mark Light?
Like, no, the
Oh,
St. Lucia folks came
okay.
here. I'm talking about the St. Lucia's delegation.
Who the St. Lucia delegation brought along with them? Oh
Brought
my
with them,
God.
yes, as part of their delegation.
No,
Well,
I
let me
don't.
tell you what.
Please, edify me.
They brought the general secretary of the St. Lucia Teachers Union as part of their delegation. They brought her along with them to engage the Ministry of Education, Guyana. They brought the general secretary of the St. Lucia Teachers Union. The president was unavailable, so the general secretary came with them. You
Hmm.
know, and they were interacting and they were talking about this and they were talking about that. And I wonder if Saddam Hussein ain't got no shame. If Saddam Hussein is seeing what is maturity, huh? You don't see what's maturity, that's why you got to remain who you are and how you are because of your bad mindedness. But don't worry, there's a time and a season for everything, and that time will soon come. Don't worry, you profess to be a religious man, and your holy book will say to you, kingdoms are built up and kingdoms are pulled down. Your holy book will say that to you. So continue, continue. The walls of Jericho were not broken down in 1 day. It came tumbling down after 7 days. And 7 days, it might sound like 7 days to us, but it wasn't seven literal days. Noah preached for 120 years before the flood actually came. So don't worry, Saddam. You muddle yourself and think you're big, bad, and bully and pompous. Muddle yourself around. Time will come for you. I'm reminding you, a time will come. That time will come. You don't come around here and make yourself. When you get into certain positions, you behave like professionals. You don't behave like little children. A little child, a little boy who you take away his ball, he run and scramble the wicket because the wicket when he's out, he scramble away the wicket because it belongs to him. That's who you are behaving like. That's your behavior. That's your behavior. But you go ahead. Let me remind you, you are not the air I breathe. I don't have to depend on you for my survival. If you had known better, then you would understand. But continue, Saddam Hussein. You continue. You will have, let's see if you will have many more selected appointments. Waste time. But you know, Wayne, we got a couple other things to talk about.
Oh, yes.
I see this boy. I hope they operated at a picture to put up of one of my former comrades, Ubraj Narai. I mean, some people say you don't talk about these people, but I have to talk about him. Ubraj is one of the most ungrateful persons that I've come across. Ubraj came from nowhere, really, and he was catapulted and made mayor of Georgetown. Not only mayor of a city or a town, mayor of Georgetown, the capital city. And then this boy now could walk around to talk about he resigned from the party, and the party got poor leadership, and the party this, and the party that. Ubraj, what did you do while you enjoyed the sweet? What did you do to build the party? What did you do? Huh? You're jumping around to talk about, oh, strong women have left the party. What's strong about the two women that you're talking about who left the party? What's strong about them? Y'all just want people to talk about, tell y'all stories, you know. Huh? is the party, the strength of the party. They create the saga in parliament. When you remember the saga in parliament that we had when we had to run and get take the blanket and throw over the same young lady Gita that you talk about, huh? It's done. And you might be right. Huh? Poor leadership caused these two young women. Poor leadership caused Amanza to leave the party. Amanza left because she wanted her own way. Does that team spirit when you're demanding that you must be this and you must be that? Ubraj, get and go. Why are you still in the PNC business? What did you do to strengthen the PNC? You talking about poor leadership? You're ungrateful because that same poor leadership. Look, today, same things, different days. I'm gonna let loose on y'all. I tell y'all that. The same poor leadership saved you when all those allegations were made, saved you jail time when that same leader intervened. That same leader intervened and saved you jail time. Don't come around here funny. Don't come around here funny and talk foolishness. And yes, I know some of you will say that as a sitting MP, I shouldn't say this, but we cannot continue to have these foolish people talk foolishness about this party. He there enjoyed all of it between 2015 and 2020, enjoyed all of it. And by 2021, 2022, we start talking stupidness.
Ladies
By
and
the time you
gentlemen,
got down to 2024, you're talking a bundle of foolishness. You, as a pandit, what have you done or what did you do to improve the party? I don't know, Wade, if you want to have a little say
no,
on this.
yes, I will chime in, Honorable MP. And let me say this to the audience. There's a specific reason. There's a few reasons, but I'm going to name one this afternoon that I really appreciate Honorable MP Coretta McDonald, because I believe we have that in common, where we don't hold back anything. You don't hold back. Why are you holding back? What's your reason for holding back? We need to speak up. This is a time to speak up. No more holding back. The future of Guyana
Crazy.
is what's at hand here. The future of this nation that we love so much, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So, MP Coretta McDonald, I really support you 1,000,000% for speaking out on the issues. You don't allow these people to come out there and create a narrative and there is no rebuttal. You must speak out against things of this nature. And let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. Former Mayor Mr. Ubraj is somebody that I respected. Okay? It is somebody that I respected. But let me say this. All right? The PNC is not any boy and girl or everyday party. All right? The PNC is a mass institution. All right? One of the most powerful institutions in Guyana, whether people like it or not. Okay? It's not always that saying that you guys have that money is power. Money is not always power, because sometimes a lot of dunceness comes behind money. Okay? So money is not always power. I'm going to say that. All right? When you would have left the institution, all right, you announce your resignation. You are no longer a part of the institution. Why choose to come out, all right, and comment on matters regarding an institution that you are no longer a part of? And it's not to say that you have left this institution 3 or 4 years ago. You've just left. All right. So first of all, you've just left. You've got to give the institution a chance to rebalance itself, recalibrate. And then if you want, you can have an opinion. I believe that that is fine. But to just come out, so ladies and gentlemen, to just come out and just make these statements, look, it aligns with what many have been saying, and I have said it before, that it is the goal of most of the parties out there right now to try to eliminate the PNC.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this again. I'll say this again. Any government in Guyana without a PNC faction in it is not a real government.
You
Could
know,
never
right?
be a government for the people. Okay? So for all those who are trying to eliminate the PNCR as an institution, I wish you good luck because it's not going to happen. All right? You know something, MP? You know, everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not, everything happens for a reason. You see this whole thing that is going on right now where everybody is running away, running away from the PNCR, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about that. That bodes well for the future of the party and the whole rebuilding process. Sometimes these things got to happen so you could separate the sheep from the goats. You think you want to be a part of an institution that within that institution, you have a whole lot of anacondas, all kind of different snakes in it. You'd rather be, look, instead of having an institution of 1,000 and it is loaded with snakes, I'd rather be a part of an institution that is 300 and
You
we
know,
are
right?
all on the same page and we are working accordingly for the best interest of the party and by extension the people of Guyana and Guyana. All right? I would prefer to know that. So these people that you guys see that are running and leaving the party, these people who are not here in the first place for the people of Guyana. Because there's a saying, man, you got to pick a fighter, you got to stick with a fight, choose a lane and stay in your lane. Why you zigzagging and jumping all over? You know why you zigzag and jump all over in lanes in the United States? You know what happened? The police just pull you over. You understand me? The police just pull you over. So stay in your lane and do your work. People worrying about why this person left the party and why that person left. Some people, look, sometimes in order to lead, you must first be led so that you can gain your experience. You understand me? So when you do get an opportunity to sit in the chair, you can execute and execute flawlessly because you come there with experience behind you. And another thing, you cannot lead unless the people are ready for you to lead. You do not get to designate yourself a leader. You have to allow the people the
Uh-huh.
latitude to
Uh-huh.
do so.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Remember, like I said, the PNCR is an institution. It has a constitution. All right? And that constitution ought to be respected. And I am sure in that constitution, it does not say that if you feel the leader is not doing things the way you want the leader to do things, you get out in public, you know, and you go there and you lash out at the leader. I am sure the Constitution does not say that. You understand me? So these guys, you know, that come out and say all these things, they ought to be very careful of what they're saying. You
When
know, I see a
it
lot of
did,
animosity is building up in a lot of people. You know, people are going across party lines and they're trying to get other parties an edge, give other parties an edge. So they're coming out and they're lashing out at the PNCR. You guys on the win side, you ought to be very, very careful. Because look, man, I would obliterate that party and its leader. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. Right? So you guys ought to be careful. Do not attack the PNCR. Do not attack the PNCR because that party there, when you talk about morals and values, again, I say this over and over because that has to be a part of the pinnacle of the future of Guyana if we ought to get a country that is free of violence, a country that is equitable for all. Moral values have to be at the top of the chain. All right, ethics, integrity. Right? So when Mr. Narain want to talk about people walking away from party and all of these type of things, he got to think about their demeanor, their ethics, their integrity. Do they have integrity? Do they have a conscience? Because I believe most of them lack integrity. Here you walking away from an institution that is literally fighting for people to an institution where you are trying to hang your mouth to get some of the soup to get money for
Mhm,
yourself and your family. So
mhm,
what are you
mhm,
really? Are you really for
mhm.
the people? Do you have an appetite to serve the people? Or is it that you have
Exactly.
an appetite to serve yourself? Over to
You
you,
know,
LP.
when I just can't help speaking about it all the time. When you're serving as mayor, it's all well and good, everything nice and dandy. And since you're hearing that you can't serve a second term as mayor, you got to go out and then come back in. You got a problem with it because you don't blasted well know the law. And so you got issues. Everything is an issue. The same poor leadership that he is talking about was the same man who got him out of the lockups when he was locked up. Hey, don't start me up, boy. Don't start me up. Don't start me up. You're too damn ungrateful. And the people who's setting you up to do that, they're setting you up to fail because none of them standing with you. I know I've learned if you don't like something, move away from it. And when you move away from it, don't even revisit it again because you don't like it. If you don't like bitters, you're going to drink it because it's bitter. You don't like the PNC, you resign from the PNC, but every 2 mornings, same things, different day. Oh, the PNC this, the PNC that. Look, I got to borrow some of the words from a friend for you. Get to. It's like a woman and a man. If you you're in a relationship with a man and you say you're done with the man, you're done with the man, you move on and you're gone. You're looking back at this man, but you're looking back for if you say you're done. You resign, so go.
Yes,
Every minute,
game
the
over.
PNC this, the PNC that, poor leadership. This body left the party. Let Geeta tell you why she left the party. Let Geeta come on national television and say why she left the party. Let Amanza come on national television and say why she left the party. You don't speak for them. You don't speak for them. You have no authority to speak to them for them. You come in, talk about yourself. Tell us about how dishonest you were and still is. Don't run up here and talk foolishness. You ever hear Aubrey Norton name called it any corruption? You ever hear that? Somebody to jump up and say something, but oh, he asked them a question. Outside of the you see how flat that went? Ubraj, Ubraj, just know your number. Drunk or sober, just know your number. As my old folks would say. Drunk or sober, just know your number. Don't come out here and feel people in a talk about you. Don't feel people will not rebut what you're saying. For too long. For too long, I think members in the PNC just sat there and allowed fools like you to come out there and tarnish the party and don't say anything about it. This time, not long time.
Right.
This time, not long time.
Mm-hmm.
This time, not long time. When you can't have, it's like the fox with the grapes. The fox can't get the grapes, so the fox choke the grapes sour. You sour. And these are the people who talk about morality and they hide behind religion. Huh? And imagine you leaving a party that is built on moral values to go and associate yourself with people who ain't interdicted, get accused of rape, get accused of thieving, get accused of that, get accused of that's who you want to go in and mix yourself up with. And you talking about the PNC, boy, get a grip of yourself. Get a grip of yourself, Ubraj. Get a grip of yourself. And then while we talk about Ubraj, we got the Dirty Seven. The Dirty Seven yesterday. But that make a sense. Because if they listen carefully to what the vice president said they asked to be associated with. He didn't say they asked to be members of, they asked to be associated with. So anytime we can fling you in a corner, are you stupid? And that's why Jack Dio said they got some real stupid people. But Dirty Seven, good riddance. I'll let you go.
Well,
Wish
MP,
you, wish you
MP,
success.
MP, I want to add to that, and this is something that I spoke on before. when it comes to the PNCR's intelligence. You see, you have to be very, very careful who the party intelligence is shared to, because you have these guys jumping over right, left, and center. And when they jump, they are carrying party information with them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They're carrying party information with them. So I believe that the vetting process needs to become even more stringent. Then people must be complaining, oh, we're getting a hard time really, penetrating the core of the PNCR. Yes, that's the way it needs to be. Because
But
when it's made easy, you come into the party, you take the information, and then you're going to sell it to the PPP
But,
amongst
but
others.
you see, Wayne, we don't treat people differently in our party, like the way the PPP
Mhm.
treat people and the way Wayne and the others treat people. We treat everybody as Guyanese. We see them as brothers and sisters, and so we open our arms and we embrace them. We are about one people, one nation, one destiny, and so we embrace all of them as brothers. But some of them come like wolves in sheep clothing. What Ricky come? What did Ricky offer to the? Well, he didn't offer nothing to the AFC. We accommodated him in the PNC under the APNU. Bear ball, shake. The other one, Dinesh. The holders, oh gosh, who know the holders? They want to know the holders, and we show love. But they took our weakness. They took our sweetness for weakness.
Hmm.
They took our humility for weakness. They took our hospitality for weakness, so they feel they could go out there and do all kinds of foolishness. All who got PNC property, let me say it on this program, all those who got PNC property, hand it over. Don't let us have to write you. Don't let us have to publish it. Hand it over. You walk and you're gone. Don't keep PNC property any longer with you. Hand it over. And again, we wish you success because all you were doing is warming benches. You didn't bring nothing. You didn't come with nothing. You didn't bring nothing. And you were hoping to gain a whole lot. Y'all are not soldiers. You don't know how to ride the waves. So as soon as the tide gets high and the waves start rolling and it's shaking the boat, you decide that you're jumping ship. Well, jump, go. Happy for you. Some don't jump one ship, they jump another ship. Now they're going to a third ship. Happy for you. Some jump one, they jump two. Happy for you. I'll you go.
Well,
It's
MP, look,
disgusting. It's
look,
disgusting when you come into political parties, you come to serve the people, not to want to gain position as soon as you come. And if you can't get a position, then you're crying foul. When you come, put this in your pipes and smoke it, you come to serve. You don't come to get a big position right away. Imagine some of them are angry that they weren't named MP. They weren't named this, they weren't named that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
wow, that's a lot. MP, let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. And this didn't happen on the PNCR because we don't have any ministers that was on the Lyndon Forbes Sampson board. No, we could say have apartment buildings, have this, have that, and live in this big luxurious, lavish life. Okay, so these new politicians, these modern day quote unquote, because I'm not sure they're politicians or if
They're
they're
not.
just flat foot hustlers. All right, they learn under the PPPC how
Mhm.
to use politics
Get
to
rich
become
quick.
rich, to become wealthy. Okay?
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
use politics as a means to become wealthy, a la the Barajagdios, the Irfan Alis, the Anil Nandalals, and I could name many of them,
Mhm.
the natural resource minister. Oh man, Zulfikar, he rich through the roof. The chocolate selling, candy selling girl, or whatever you want to call that, half, whatever, man. I'm not going to go into full details on that. Yeah, see, y'all know y'all can't write me. Don't worry, that's stupidness. Y'all know though. Don't write me. Can't write
The
me.
right me. The right me.
We're gonna discuss that just now. We're gonna discuss that just now, MP. Yeah. All right. The PPP thought people how to get into politics and how to use politics as a means to get
Mm-hmm.
wealth. And this is what all these young people that you see, those 7 people that would have crossed the aisle, and that young man didn't even give himself an opportunity to get his feet wet on the
Mm-hmm.
side of the PNCR.
Mm-hmm.
But he is quick to jump over. And look, MP, this is not nothing new, and this is not something that is
Nothing to
just
you.
relating to Guyana, because I see this right here in the United States, where young people are just interested in getting rich and getting rich quickly. All right. So what I saw yesterday didn't surprise me one bit. And I say to myself, though, let them go, because the PNCR needs a purge out. And I have called out a couple programs ago, letting the public know that there's still snakes within the party. There's more to purge, and I still believe there are still a few more there. And I would tell them, hey, show your face and just take your walk, so the people could come together and they could rebuild the party, because the PNCR is going nowhere. Okay, it is going nowhere. It was built by the late great Lyndon Forbes Sampson Barnum, the father of the nation called the Cooperative
Yes,
Republic
I
of
totally agree with
Guyana.
you.
All right, so that party is going nowhere. So all who want to play dirty seven, half dirty, clean seven, whatever they want to call themselves, they can take a walk. Let's see how the PPPC will elevate them. Another thing
Mm-hmm.
to MP, you have to remember, these gentlemen was aligned there with the vice president, who have not had too much of a say in the party. All right, while everybody's looking at the PNCR and jumping all over the PNCR, or the parties weak, the parties this, they're always infighting and outfighting, whatever. Hey, there is a fight in the PPP. All right, the PPP has Muslims and it has Hindus. All right,
And Christians.
and Christians, right?
And
Correct.
they got PPP and they got Civic.
There you go. And Barry Jagdio, remember, he's the guy that everybody says the smartest mind. Okay, he can be creating his own faction. Who knows? All right, who knows? The other thing that they can be trying to do, because no one, this new lead opposition party, has not really bailed the cat when it comes to GCOM and new voters list and biometrics. They have not
Mhm,
done it.
mhm.
I have not seen this new party really had a head-on collision with the PPP as yet. They
Nothing.
will go out, they will stand on the road corner and they will say, oh, yes, this building is all corruption. Oh, we're highlighting this. No, 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 no. Highlighting. You can highlight how much you want. That voters list and biometrics in place, you're going to be highlighting for the next 30 years. All
Exactly.
right? You want it to be lead party. You're the party that doesn't want
Mhm.
to engage the PNCR that has a history. The PNCR has a history. They have empirical knowledge of what is happening in GCOM. All right? That's the party you want to engage. You want to engage somebody like Comrade Norton, who's got 50 years in a party. Come on, man. How many people has 50 years in a party?
No, no one.
Those 7 individuals that jumped yesterday, let them look at the current leader of the PNCR, 50 plus years, and
More than
everybody want to say that this guy
more than that, Wayne. More
yes,
than that. That very man who some of them said poor leadership. Look at the leadership that he would have displayed when he decided, I am not going to return to parliament, but I'll put other persons there. That's what you call leadership. Not where you want this and you want that and you want the other. Look, folks, viewers, we're not gonna be going around, and I don't want you to get distracted with those distractions. Many persons have left the PPP, but you didn't see big highlighting about it. But all of these are distractions to distract you from what the PPP want to do. So don't follow the distractions. The PNC, like Wayne said, is over 60 years, and it did not get there fly by night. So all them newbies and new Johnny come lately who want just come and jump to the top, no, it doesn't happen like that. It does not happen like that. When you work hard, you get paid, you get rewarded. You can't have 18,000 votes and then you bubble down to 900 or 1,100 votes and still want to expect that you must get this and you must get that. Zero. So I'll you jump over and stay over there. Don't think you're going to come back. But I want them to know, Wayne, and I want our viewers to know that that came as no surprise to us. Because if you remember a couple of weeks ago, Poor People Governor did a video. Wayne, I don't know if you remember that. Governor did a video and he did it for a former MP. He didn't want to call all the other names, but he sent that out as a signal to let them know that we know what they're doing because we got the information about those who are going to make their presence felt and the big photo shoot, the big photo op that they're going to have. We knew it, so it did not come as a surprise to us. So if y'all think y'all surprise us, we are surprised.
Well, maybe
And
they're
again,
thinking.
the party did not strive on your strength. And so your departure will not cause the party like a balloon to flap. No way.
Not at all.
So go in peace.
Not at all.
But when
Not at all.
when you're having fun, time really catches up with you. But we've got to talk about this entity, this particular entity that loves to send love letter to certain people. We have to talk about that entity. Any entity that is worth its salt would embrace any and everybody once you fight. If you think that they're going out of line, when Barajagio had called Kathy Hughes, it's
A
really
low
called
life. A
a
low
low
life.
life. Where was the ERC? ERC, you were sleeping then? Were you sleeping then?
MP.
When Russian Khan jumped out there and attacked Amanza Walton, where was the ERC? Where were you? Indra Ali or Indira Ali, whatever is her name, every 2 mornings, same things, different days. ERC. I'm not getting my British accent right. ERC, where are you? You know? Ali, don't tickle me. Don't tickle me.
Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to speak based on what I know because the Honorable Coretta McDonald was nice enough to allow me the latitude to view the letter that was sent to her by the ERC. And by no means am I her attorney. And I am not an attorney, but I know enough. All right. Let's start off with this with this institution. All right, the Ethnic Relations Commission. All right, it was an institution that was created, and it was not an institution that was created to be selective, to be biased, okay, to be what you want to call it, yeah, selective and biased and convenient. Yes, that's the word I wanted to use, convenient. All right, and MPU would have talked of the issue and the incident where Barajagi would have called a sitting minister in government a low life. You had Nigel Darmlal showing the dildo and doing all this stuff in Parliament. These are issues that could have come before the Ethnic Relations Commission, right? And let's go a bit further here because this one, I believe, you had the incident with Tukumo Bonse, where we were simply talking about the fact that the ethnicity of all the people that is holding the guns, in the Ghana Police Force, Ghana Defense Force, if they turn the guns the other way and they, something to that extent, and they create a big stink about that. Had him before the ERC got him arrested and all of this type of stuff, right? So here we go. We're building up a history on this institution now. All right. Now we had this young gentleman, and this is to show what is taught at the bottom house meetings by the PPPC, right? This young gentleman, Imran, all right?
Oh
When
yeah.
Imran said they should just call a party, cook a whole set of couple pot of cocoa rice, and just
Mm-hmm.
poison out all them black man. That's a
Mm-hmm.
saying it how we say it. Or
Several
we just
others would
pull
have
out,
said that too.
we just pull out with guns and we just go and we just shoot and kill out all them black man in this country. Well, look, first of all, before I even get in a little bit more, I want to say this: that the African Guyanese were here. They were here before you guys would have arrived here, right? And look, I'm not painting every East Indian with the same brush because that would not be fair either. So I'm not doing that. But it's just a kind reminder that when you guys came here as indentured servants, you found an emancipated African people trying to stand on their own feet, right? You didn't find us when you come getting down to our knees and begging you for something, like how you guys are trying to ethnically control Guyana, make it into an ethnic state, make it into an Indo state. Look, MP, we got to tie in all of these things. There is a reason why Modi was there in Guyana. There is a
Yeah.
reason. Modi wasn't there by chance. There is
Nope.
a reason to see how things are going, how fast they're moving. All right. Okay.
And where, let me stop you. And
Mhm.
that is why when Modi returned to India, he said Guyana reminded him of mini India because you saw Indians excelling in medicine, Indian excelling in business, Indian excelling in this, Indian excel everything Indians excelling in. And we didn't see a statement from the ERC condemning that.
No,
Hmm? You
no.
didn't see that. But conveniently, ERC receives all kinds of complaints conveniently.
Right. But MP, right, they would not address that because they were not created to address issues that are favorable to the PPP. They were created, all right, to be a thorn in the side to the voices of dissent. That's what the ERC was created for, to attack the voices of dissent. And listen, a good guy, Norris Witter, I'm so sorry. But being a part of that institution there, man, would not have done well for your career and probably for the history of Norris Witter, who is a very, very good individual, good natured individual. But just by being a part of that body, all right, that body is not an asset to who Norris Witter is. I must say that. But MP, let me respectfully say that if the ERC wants you to come in to see them, why don't they have Imran come in simultaneously
Yeah.
to see them? That would only be fair. All right. You cannot want to call a sitting MP to come into you guys. All right. You guys probably should send out two of your counselors if you want to go and find Honorable Coretta McDonald at whichever office she's sitting in. And y'all could go and meet her for a conversation. But she's not coming down there to meet y'all. Who is the MP? Who is the MP? Coretta McDonald is the MP. You guys sit down right where you at, man. Nobody come in and see you guys. You guys get Imran to come in. Get Imran and go online. Go online and y'all look online to see some of the things that PPP supporters would have said to people, man. I
No,
could
they don't.
never forget MP. I could never forget what I saw
They don't
with
do
that
that.
whole Adriana Young debacle. And I was online looking at the Travis
Mm-hmm,
Chase broadcast
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
to see how the PPP supporters were attacking the
Yep.
APNU supporters. And
Mm-hmm,
the ERC was only looking at who was answering back, but they weren't looking at who was initiating.
mm-hmm,
Okay?
mm-hmm.
This body should be decommissioned. There's no need for an ethnic relations commission when you have the first vice president Jagdio speaking of a sitting MP Cathy Hughes in that manner. All right. And look, these guys have no respect because the guy went
None.
into parliament and called the parliament a clown show. So
Mm-hmm,
there's no respect on the side of the PPPC and
mm-hmm.
MP. We should come not to expect any kind of respect on the side of the PPPC because these guys are not properly trained, I must say, politicians. All right. It's just a criminal organization that
Yep.
is sitting there and moonlighting as politicians. And you got to understand that the large economies in this world that really controls everything, that is what they like. They love when they have a group of people that they can just pull a string and they will control everything and
Mhm,
just subject the people of that specific nation to whatever it is that that large economy wants. But I must say this though. I must say this, and I said it before. Guyanese are different. Guyanese are different. And the day that the people of Guyana decide to stand up, all right, and a revolution is started, all right, people are not going to come with their guns and try to play that they're shooting down anybody because the cries has been loud. The cries has been consistent of
yep.
the people. And
Mhm.
nobody is paying attention to them. All everybody's concerned with is making that bottom line, that thing called money. MP, I hand it back over to you.
Yes, well, when we operator, could you check there? When we're having, when we're having fun, we oh geez, time just rushes away and leave us. The operator, I'm gonna give them some time to plug in this video for us that I want them to play. But we have to say it as it is, Wade. And I want to say to persons, I am not afraid. I will not be intimidated by any ERC, MRC, QRC, ZRC, any C. I will not be intimidated by because I am a C myself. So I will not be intimidated by any C. No C. Operator, I don't know if you have that video, if you can play that video for us, that Adriana Young video where the presidents was there. Yes, I will not be intimidated. No Saddam, no ERC, nobody, no opposition leader, no general secretary for the opposition leader. Nobody ain't gonna intimidate me. No Ubraj, no nobody ain't gonna intimidate me. Because the God that I serve, he said, I didn't give you a spirit of fear. And I live with that. And so even if you come to put me in the lockups, let me tell you, I am not scared of that because that they make for dog and cat. It didn't make for dog and cat, so I will not be intimidated by that. You know? So y'all don't come around me funny. Don't come around the party that I'm part of funny. Because I can be like Dharam Lal for you. Anytime you come around the PNC funny, I will get to you. And I want to close by saying Guyanese locally and Guyanese in the diaspora, you've got to get serious. Don't let us allow the same things to be happening on a different day. Too many ordinary Guyanese are suffering. Too many ordinary Guyanese children are suffering. We just saw the video with the children, where the pictures with the children walking across water to get to school in Region 1. I think it is Region 1. We just saw pictures where the children got to sit on benches that ain't benches. We just saw water on the schools. We talk about mosquito infestation. We talk about flea infestation in schools. We talk about the gangs in schools. We talk about bullying in schools. That is what y'all need to fix. So don't come around here and think you will intimidate me. You will not be able to do it. Because I tell you again, East Penitence lockups, it's going to be converted. Everybody in that station is going to be converted. Take that from me. Anywhere else y'all send me, they will be converted. Because it's not an easy campaign that you're dealing with. You know? Just the same way we got fast for a whole month and so on. I know about them kind of fasting too. So I know how to do my thing. And you don't come around. I came from a family, a military background. I came from a family of teachers. And that's why I talk so much. I tell people I get paid to talk because I'm a teacher. But I talk sensible things. I tell the truth. And that's what people can't deal with. But you know what? There's a time and a season for everything. We can get it right. Guyanese in the diaspora and Guyanese here locally, you have to demand from your leaders leadership. Too much corruption going around this place. Too many fly by night people come in and become millionaire and billionaires. Y'all need to speak out about those. Too many senior citizens are being disrespected in this country. They're falling down at NIS. They're falling down at post offices. Too many senior citizens who would have given their service to this country can't be respected, you know. And I figure you made a mistake when you allowed $100,000 as a pension to slide for 46,000 because then all that glittered to you looked like gold. But I'm hoping now that you're recognizing that all that glitters is not gold. And development is only for a certain grouping of people, not for everybody. So, Guyanese people, it's time for you to wake up. Mr. Opposition Leader, it's time for you to get up and act like the opposition leader. I'm tired seeing drones flying all over the place and taking picture here and taking picture there. I want to see you going to the GCOM's office and demand a meeting with the chairman of GCOM and lay on the table your cards. I want to see you stand in front of the magistrate's court. I want to see you stand in front of the parliament building and demand with your supporters, bring your supporters out. Because I didn't see them go out there to represent you when the police swoop down on you to collect your weapons. Bring them out and demand that we have sittings of parliament on a regular basis. That's where you do as opposition leader. You talked a lot about Aubrey Norton. It's your turn. Do it now. So viewers, I'm tired of the same things different days. We want to know who killed Paper Shorts. We want to know who killed Courtney Crummy Wing. We want to know who killed Ronald Waddle. We want to know who killed Saturday Saw and his family and his guard and his dogs. We want to know those things. Opposition leader, you got plenty work to do. Don't keep holding back. Oh, I have a lot of things that I would say. Say them. If you're man enough, you say them. Don't, now is not time to hide behind the shadows. We want answers. We want to know about those hundreds of young men who were gunned down in our streets. Some their bodies can't be found up to now. We want to know who killed the Bacchus's brothers. Tell us. We ain't got time for stupidness. We want to know who killed Harry Singh. The Henry brothers, their mothers, the Henry boys, their mothers gone to their graves without any justification, any satisfaction. They're gone to their graves. We want to hear the full story. We want to know more about all who in this business and that business and the other business and who fronting for who and who backing for who. Tell us those things until such time we want to see no more drones flying around the place. With that, viewers and my wonderful guests, I want to thank you so much for being here with us on Same Things, Different Days. Look out tonight for Advancing the Cause with Comrade Dennis Jaikaran. Look out on Saturday for Comrade Wayne Caesar, Saturday and the Sunday for Comrade Wayne Caesar on Straight Talk. Over to you.
Over to you.
Over to you. Look out for him there on Saturday and Sunday. And we are going to give you the kind of information that is corrupt free. That is the plain truth. Look out for us. Join us as we give you more information. Look out for Paul Slow. Mm-hmm. Join the class. And for those who like to sit at the back of the class like Clifton Hickins and Faisal, come to the front of the class. Opposition leader, come to the front of the class. Well, the dirty seven gone, so they can't come to the class. They expel themselves, so they're gone. We don't need them anymore. Ubraj Narayan, we don't need you. We don't want to hear from you. If you are dissatisfied, like you said you were, stay where you're there, form a party of your own. If other people can't satisfy you and they can't live up to your expectations, maybe you could live up to your expectations. Go do your thing on this side. Viewers, thank you so much for being here with us. Road users, be careful on the roads. We love you. Take care. We'll see you next Wednesday for another episode of Same Things, Different Days. Thanks again, Wayne. Bye
Yes, you're
bye.
welcome. Bye.